How is current me feeding and nurturing and embodying the soul and life of future me?
You can accomplish anything with a solid plan. Check. With a solid plan.
That is today's theme, creating a solid plan. Today marks the official start of quarter 4, October 1st, 2023 to be exact, which means the year 2024 is around the corner. And what are we going to do about it? Well, in this episode, we are going to set the tone. We're going to get things started. We're going to get things done. We're going to keep that ball rolling, the momentum moving forward. And we're going to keep those promises we set for ourselves at the beginning of the year, today, tomorrow, and in the future. But how, you may ask? Well, let's jump into this episode and talk all about it. Transaction Care, the podcast. Welcome home to the #1 real estate show on the market. I am your host and resident care coordinator, Lillian Hernandez, but you can call me Lilly. My goal with each episode of Transaction Care is to demystify the business of real estate from my point of view and interviews from other voices within the real estate industry around the world. I'm giving you the keys. There are no gatekeepers here. Head to transactioncarepodcast.com to join my TC community and to be sure you are subscribed to Transaction Care, the podcast, so you know exactly when new episodes are released weekly. So some of the keys I want to discuss today are reflection, visualization, audits, and action. And of course, we're going to get into some tangible things we can do to implement these plans, but in order to think about the future, we sometimes need to take a step back and just reflect on what we've already accomplished, or even what we haven't accomplished, some of our shortcomings, but ultimately taking some time to pause, to reflect. What did you do this year? What did you not do? How did you feel? What needs to shift, change, or pivot? 9 months later, as I'm reflecting on my personal year, at the beginning in January, I was so lost. Personally, and full transparency, I'm not much of a planner. I'm an Aries. I can be very impulsive, but I also know that impulsivity is rooted in fear. The fear of if I invest so much time into something and it doesn't work out, I just wasted my time. I'm a failure. What else am I going to do? I have nothing to fall back on. I can go from extreme to extreme. And one thing this year has taught me is that it's okay to plan. It's okay to plan to succeed. And it's definitely okay to plan to fail. Because it doesn't mean I'm a failure. It just means I have more information, I have more data, and it can help dictate how I will proceed in the future with whatever it is that I intentionally choose to pursue. Reflecting on this year, I also realized that I had to get very honest with myself. And if I didn't, I don't think I would have reached the amount of change and personal development that I have between January, February to now October 1st. And more to get more specific about what I'm talking about is I changed careers. That is something I knew was going to happen. I just didn't know how. And I didn't think I was ready for it until it actually happened. Now, it doesn't mean I've quit everything or that I'm done TCing for now. But I had to pursue the thing that was practically yelling at me to do, which was endeavoring in coaching, becoming a coach, and more specifically, a confidence coach, which is an area that I lacked. And it's not perfect. I'm still growing in that area, but the amount of confidence I have gained just through doing the work over this past year, the past couple of years, even working with my own personal coach, has truly catapulted me into a whole fresh mindset of limitless thinking And I'm just so grateful for that, because at the root of it all, I knew I wanted to give back to people, but there was no way I was able to do that by just being in the files, by just being a TC. And of course, my platform with the podcast, with YouTube, and other avenues, I'm able to reach people. But there's something about that one-on-one connection that, to me, is just so fulfilling, to see people see themselves, if that makes sense. And I feel like I'm starting to see myself more and more each day as I choose myself each and every day, regardless of my circumstances, regardless of my financial situation, regardless of a lack of energy. I am able to recognize now at this stage of my life that I have so much power. And shout out to Beyonce, because it has been the year of the Renaissance. And if you know, Renaissance means rebirth. And I truly do feel like I've been on my own journey of rebirth and getting to know who I am in this new season of life. Even as I approach a new decade, as I close out my 30s, this has been a beautiful journey thus far. And the fact that I'm here hosting my own podcast, the fact that I am blessed enough to say I'm pivoting in my career and I'm going to take action. I'm going to take the classes, even if it takes 6 months out of my life to do and accomplish. And I'm going to stick to the plan and do it and follow through. I feel very fortunate to be sitting here to be able to talk about it and to share this side of things with you all, and to be able to help you in your journey. So starting with reflection is important. If you need to take out a piece of paper, your notes app, anything to jot this down. You know what? Journals coming soon. It's happening. We got to work together. We got to keep the brand strong, right? But reflection ultimately is a good starting point. And give yourself grace. Even if there are things on my 2023 GPS that I'm looking at that I did not get done. There are things that are happening next year that I thought would happen this year. There are things that I did do that I failed at. And failure is subjective. I am not a failure. Just the idea didn't pan out the way I had envisioned it. And it's my choice to either keep doing the thing that isn't working, or to just stop, reorganize, and decide, am I going to cut this out of my life? Am I going to revamp it? Or am I just going to put it on the shelf and come back to it later? That simple. 3 choices. I don't want to have decision fatigue when I'm doing things. I don't want to overthink, because that is another part of me that has gotten me in a lot of trouble, that has delayed a lot of my progress and my confidence and my courage, is overthinking and giving myself too many options to not make the ultimate decision. That's it. Point blank, period. For example, I'll give you guys some examples. So I was like, I have the podcast. That means I need merch. I got to sell merch. Okay, I'm going to invest all this money into t-shirts and just throw it out there, create a Shopify, and people are going to buy them. Ooh, and it's going to be passive income. It's going to be so successful, and it's going to do great. It was not great. What happened was I did all the things. I opened the Shopify store. I was paying the monthly fee of, I think, $31 or something to keep it open. I invested about, I think, $600 in 100 shirts with my company name and then my slogan, care for yourself, care for your wealth, on the back. And I put them up for, I think, $39, because I wanted to cover the cost, but I also wanted to make a profit. But what I failed to do right out the gate, or to recognize, is that I needed to build audience trust. I needed to build brand trust. And of course, I looked at it from a profit standpoint when I should have looked at it initially from a purpose standpoint, instead of just impulsively doing it and throwing the money at it. And I don't even think I sold a single shirt now that I'm really reflecting on it. And I'm okay with that, because not only do I have to not, okay, here were the opportunities that, and here's the other side of that failure, what that looks like to me. And of course, if you want a t-shirt, DM me your address. I will send you one. If you want to buy a t-shirt, even better, name your price, and just we'll discuss the details in my inbox. But ultimately, I did have to close the store down. I needed to make a decision because I was now investing $30 a month, even though that doesn't sound like a lot. But when there's no return in that investment, at some point you just have to stop the bleeding and let the wound heal, and then see how what your next step is going to be from that point on. So I launched the t-shirt business. I didn't have a plan on how I was going to promote it. I just assumed people would want merch, but they didn't. And I really didn't take time to design the merch. I didn't have a target audience for the merch. I didn't build I didn't build that brand trust with the merch. I just assumed podcast following, people want to buy from me. So the opportunities that I see from this moment is, one, less decision fatigue on what I'm going to wear throughout the day, because not only do I have 100 t-shirts, well, it's less than 100 now, but not only do I have these t-shirts, but I essentially just created a uniform for myself, right? Now I don't have to wake up and think about what am I going to wear to work. Even though I work from home, there's something about taking the time out to pick an outfit it's just pointless. It's like Steve Jobs, how he wore the same thing over and over again. He had that uniform. The other opportunity is, okay, well, promo materials. I still get the tax write-off. Great. But at the same time, I can use these as promo materials. So I had two plans for the t-shirts. One, to sell as merch. The other, to give away to every guest that I had on the show. And if those of you who have been on the show that have not received a t-shirt yet, stay tuned. I'm working on it. Life just starts lifing, and that project just kind of fell to the wayside until now. As I'm revamping for 2024, I want to use these shirts as promo to get the word out, to spread the word, not just about transaction care, but about the message. And that is, it just goes beyond the work of actual transactions. It's how we're caring for ourselves and our wealth, which is all encompassed in terms of how we're navigating each and every day. But with the t-shirts, one would consider it a failure, but I also saw opportunities from that failure, and I'm not going to let it stop me. And I didn't, and I'm not letting it stop me or preventing me from moving forward with, well, what can we do next? Right? Which ultimately led into my journey with coaching, which I talk about very frequently on here. And if you do want to set up a one-on-one with me, you can go to firstclassdreams.com and set that up, or just email me, Lillian at firstclassdreams.com, and we'll get started ASAP. I want to help as many people. In fact, I want to help 1 million women of color find their inner self-confidence in order to navigate this world with ease, love, joy, fun, whether it's in your career, your personal life. I'm here to help. Let's get this journey started together, because I know the benefits of coaching. I know what the benefits of coaching have had on my life. And if I can give that to someone else in this world, then I know I'm doing the right thing. So failures are part of the journey, but ultimately, and who you are is who you are. The failure is not your identity. Which, on to the next step, is ultimately just visualizing what it is you want your future to look and feel like. Who do you want in your life? Who do you want to surround you? Who do you want to impact? And all of that comes down to just taking some time to be a little creative, to be imaginative. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Fun fact, one of my favorite movies is Willy Wonka, the old school one with Gene Wilder, not Johnny Depp. But I love that song, Pure Imagination. There's something about that childlike nature where we just don't limit ourselves. We shoot for the stars. We say outlandish, almost delusional things that we as adults probably don't think are possible. But something about that childlike nature of just visualizing and being playful and saying, oh, I'm going to meet Beyonce one day, and this is what I'm going to be wearing, and this is where it's going to happen. And realizing that it's not the actual act of meeting Beyonce, but it's how I'm approaching the journey and the steps to get to that point in my life. I truly do believe I'm going to meet her one day. I saw her twice in 1 week. That was not on the bingo card a year ago today. I knew I was going to see her at least once. But the fact that I saw her twice in 1 week at her show, the Renaissance World Tour, go back to episode 39 to listen to my 7 lessons about after experiencing the Renaissance World Tour. But I have so much faith and trust that I'm going to accomplish everything I set my mind to. I just have to learn how to be more disciplined and patient in that idea, because the vision is what's going to drive us, right? It's what's going to keep us going. And remembering that vision and then applying it to your why. Like, why do I want to do certain things with my business? Why do I want to make $30,000 a month? That is a real life goal for me that I'm putting out there, and I'm being real transparent right now. $30,000 every month. I don't know how, I don't know when, but it's up to me to figure out why. Who am I serving? What value am I providing? What gaps am I filling? And how am I impacting not just my own life, but all those around me that I intend to serve? And not being afraid to make that kind of money. And just visualizing, like, who am I when I get that first $30,000 check? Who am I when I'm spending it? Right? And just visualizing you in all of those spaces, all of those elements. What is the first thing you want to buy? Or what are the debts you want to pay off? Or how do you want to feel? What are the emotions you're experiencing? When I say I make $30,000 a month, how does that feel? And for those making that right now, let me know your secrets, because your girl is trying to hit these big goals, right? But I have realized in the last few years, I've lost sight of my vision. I've lost sight, not actually physically, but emotionally, spiritually. I've lost sight of how to visualize that future, because I was stuck in this scarcity mindset of here and now, fight or flight, scarcity mentality, and trusting that it's okay to think about the future. So through this process of reflection, visualization, I'm asking myself, what do I see for my future? How is current me feeding and nurturing and embodying the soul and life of future me? Which ultimately leads to the next step, is just taking time to audit your life. Where are you in the scheme of things? Where am I in this plan of making $30,000 a month? Okay, let's be honest. What are my vices? What am I doing with my time and energy when I do have it? What little habits am I honoring? What habits do I need to remove from my life? If I truly am serious about coaching, what steps and how much time am I investing into this new life? And again, embodying that into my everyday existence? Or am I just saying it out loud for the sake of saying it, to sound good, to impress others, to people please? No, we're not taking that people pleasing attitude into 2024. Let's get rid of it. We're done. I'm done. Okay? And moving forward, I'm making decisions without hesitation. I need to log off of social media, first and foremost. Let me know if you are the type that is spending a lot of time just aimlessly scrolling, aimlessly watching videos on TikTok for hours. I'm speaking to myself, and I know that one of my vices is my addiction to social media. I had to say that out loud because it really is an addiction. I'm on there a lot because I'm distracting myself. I'm self-sabotaging myself from sitting here and recording several podcasts at once. Why do I wait to the last minute the day before it goes out to record? Yeah, I like being in the moment and talking to you all as things are happening live. But at the same time, it's Sunday fun day. I could be out at brunch. I could be actually taking a nap without guilt, planning, the future. But this is the choice I've made. And now, again, as I reflect, I visualize, I audit my life. Okay, what are the habits I need to fix? What is preventing me from having the progress I need to reach this goal of $30K a month? Who do I have to become in order to reach that feat? So simply just take time to audit your life. What does that look like? And if you need to sit down with someone one-on-one, again, reach out to me, message me. I will put all my information in the description of this email below, of this podcast episode below. Email me, DM me, everything at Transaction Care. My coaching business is named First Class Dreams. So if you want to follow more content based on coaching and things of that nature, you can go to firstclassdreams.com. But ultimately, any way I can help you, it doesn't matter what the name of my business is. Just know who I am. Lillian Hernandez, aka Lily like the flower. I am here to help. So any way you are able to contact me, just get in contact with me and I will help you through this journey. We will work on it together. And whichever ways I can guide you and help you, provide you with the resources you need, help you to come up with an action plan to achieve these goals, I'm down to help. But a simple audit after you've been visualizing and reflecting, of course, with gratitude. Gratitude is so important. I cannot stress how important gratitude is. I journaled for the first time after almost 2 months. I couldn't believe it. I opened my journal and the last entry was August 5th. Now, I put some entries in my phone, but so there's something about writing in my journal as a form of healing for me and getting out my thoughts and feelings. It really helps me to be aligned. And I've been taking this intense business course for the last month, and I became a certified coach. I took a 6-month course, and graduation is actually in a couple of days. But I realized that my last journal entry was August 5th. You know how much stuff I've done between August 5th and October 1st? Again, Beyonce twice in 1 week. Best believe I spent at least a good hour journaling the last at least the last month and a half in that journal. And I felt so good. It was nice to just pause and be still and remember what I've done in such a short amount of time, and giving myself that grace that I needed to acknowledge and celebrate those wins and just be grateful. And just be grateful to recount all the moments of gratitude that I shared personally, collectively. Gratitude is the key to all success. I don't care what anyone else says. To me, gratitude is the key to life. And of course, being kind to other people, but having gratitude for the littlest things will recharge you. I swear, when you are in a funk, when you are stuck, when you are indecisive, just go to gratitude. When all else fails and when all else wins, go to gratitude. The attitude of gratitude is the key to success. It is the key to life. I'm telling you right now. In fact, take a moment right now, pause this episode, and list 3 things or people or experiences that you are grateful for and say it out loud. If you're not in a place where you could talk to yourself out loud, write it down on a piece of paper in your phone, but document your gratitude. It's so important on this journey of growth, healing, personal development, success, all of it. Gratitude. So the next step we want to take after we've reflected, we've visualized, we've audited our life, is to take action. Again, like I said with the gratitude, write it out, say it out loud, plan things out with dates. And even if it's 3 months out, how are you going to navigate and map out the next 3 months? Down to the minute, down to the second if you have to. And of course, make sure you're leaving some grace, leaving some space for grace in case things don't go as planned. Again, planning is important, but ultimately, not everything is going to go the way we planned it exactly. I should have said that in the beginning, but I feel like if we've gotten this far in life, we know that you can have everything in order and then all of a sudden the power goes out. Your car needs a new engine. You got the runs. Whatever the case may be. Planning is important, but planning, again, to have to pivot, to pause, to delay is all a part of this journey, and it's okay. But having that guide to remind you when you are sitting back and thinking you have nothing to do, again, rest is okay, but for the majority of the time, when you know you have things to do, I'm talking to myself as well, planning things out with a date gives you that extra charge you need to not let things fall to the wayside or to, miss your mark or be late or delay, the things you pray and ask for. I'm working on, I forget the quote, but I saw it on Instagram, because I'm on there 24/7. And it says something about like the more time you waste, the less time you have to live in your prayers. Oh, and that hit me hard. So it's like the more time you spend basically not fulfilling whatever it is you want to accomplish, the things that you pray for at night, that you cry for, that you yearn for, what action are you taking today, right now, to get there? And that's all a part of being in your prayers, living in your prayers, right? Because we're going to exert the same amount of energy complaining that we are taking action. And I'm all about that action, okay? This year, it's all about trusting myself. That's my word for this year. What is your word for 2024? Or your theme? Or a quote? For me, I like to choose a word. Shout out to my coach for helping me come up with that plan. But ultimately, my word for 2024 is trust. That is something I wasn't doing. I wasn't trusting myself. I wasn't trusting my vision. I wasn't trusting God. I wasn't trusting my faith. I wasn't trusting my skills. And I was overthinking. I was hesitating. I was self-sabotaging. And I'm just done. I'm done with that. Okay? I'm done. It's all about trusting myself. And going back to one of my goals, one of my financial goals, is how can I still live out my purpose and attain this financial feat? And that was just to give you guys an example of just one of the ways I'm visualizing and executing this year moving forward. But ultimately, taking action is so important. It's the most important part of this whole creating a goal, creating a plan, and executing it. And again, like I mentioned, I'm looking at my 2023 GPS, and some of the things I wrote that I was like, oh, 2023, it's the year for this. I'm looking at it, and based on the moves that I've made and the choices that I've made, it's something that isn't going to get done this year, but will happen next year. And I'm okay with that because it's getting done. The whole point of the exercise was to get the ball rolling, to build up that momentum, right? So how are you building up the momentum to take action? Whether it gets done today, 2024, 2025, 2035. Some people have their lives planned out for the next decade. I don't understand that, but I also am new to this actual planning of things and accepting and trusting that things will go my way. So I guess I could see that because I would like to be a homeowner in the next 5 years or less. Homeowner, investor. I would like to invest in real estate, not just for my own personal needs, but as a financial decision. But ultimately, what action are you taking? What action do you need to take? Again, if you're having trouble figuring that out, reach out to me. Let's schedule a one-on-one and we'll get you going. We will get you going in one session. I guarantee that. But of course, if you need to talk more and schedule more sessions, I'm available. And finally, just to close things out, I want to give you guys some more tangible things that you can do to stay accountable through this whole process. And of course, these are just like 5 practical tips to plan for 2024. Of course, we didn't even get into updating your business plan, review your financials, set clear goals. What are the trends? Diversifying your marketing strategy, prioritizing the customer experience. Are you compliant? Are you secure? Are all those things that you've set in place still in order? Whether it's your insurance, your bills, your budget, your profit and loss statements, your taxes. Are we paying our taxes quarterly, people? Or in general? Okay. There are so many other elements, but I wanted to keep this practical and simple and in a manner that we can apply it to any part of our lives, whether it's in our health, in our relationships, with our money, with our career, with our spirituality, with our faith. You can do all this. You can apply this to any part of your life. But lastly, I want to give you guys some more tangible ways to stay accountable through this process. So your 2024 or any year or any quarter or any month moving forward is as successful as you had envisioned from jump. All right. One of the things I love doing is doing vision boards. I love doing vision boards. I have them everywhere. I think I want to do another one for 2024. And looking back at my vision board now, it's pretty cool because some of the things I've already done, and it's nice to have that point of reference. Like, this is where I started and this is where I'm ending this year, or I got this started. I'm in the middle of this project, right? It's really cool. And if you have ever done a vision board, you know the power of them. And if you've never done a vision board, join my TC community. I talk about all of this stuff in there just to get you guys all on the right foot. But vision boards are amazing. You can even do mood boards. You can do travel boards. You can do house boards, car boards, whatever it is. It could be digital. It could be physical. But have some sort of visual representation of how you want to see your future look and feel, and places you want to go. Like I said, a travel vision board. What are some places you want to visit? Who are some people you want to see? Put it on paper. Make it real. Next, I would definitely say start scheduling things now. Send those emails, send those DMs. You do not need permission. You do not have to wait. Just start planting those seeds now. So come January, you already have your answers. You don't have to wait until April to find out questions you could have found out in October. You get what I'm saying? Schedule things out now, whether it's for you or an interview with someone else, an appointment, whatever it is. Start scheduling those things now, today. You got me? And books. Books. I just reorganized my bookshelf. I don't have that many books, but I do have a pretty cool library that I've built up over the years. I just got into reading physical books, and I have a bunch on my Audible. I have a bunch on my Kindle. But ultimately, I want to leave you guys with a few books that will get you on the right foot. But please keep in mind, going back to the last tip, is when you read these books, you need to take action. I'm telling you guys the truth. Read the book, immediately apply it. today. So if you're someone struggling with your finances, with budgeting, with money, with debt, I encourage you to read I Will Teach You How to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. I just finished that book. Life-changing. If you're someone that struggles with your habits, 2 books I recommend and read in this order: Atomic Habits, and then the other book is The 12-Week Year. I'm going to put these links in the description below so you guys can buy them immediately. And then for your mindset is 2 books again, one being The 4 Agreements, and the second one, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. On a super basic level, start there. If you don't know where to start, these are my personal book recommendations. These are books that have worked for me. But again, they only work because I've taken action. I've read what they said and I applied it. Technically, we don't need to read or consume so much information. We just need to do. We just need to do, learn, reassess, and keep going. Keep growing. Plain and simple. If you are someone that needs some additional reinforcement, these books are a great starting point for your journey. Like I said, a starting point at the very ground level of things. Or maybe you've read these books, reread them. These are books that I'm going to have in rotation that I'm going to revisit, once or twice a year, whether it's a chapter or rereading the whole book again. That's how much impact they've had on me. For example, the 4 agreements. One of the agreements is to not take things personally. That has saved me so many times in the last few years. This year in particularly, I wish I could talk about it, but there was a moment this year where I was just fed up and I had to say over and over again, do not take it personal. Do not take it personal. And it worked, because ultimately when people are testing you, when they are getting on your damn nerves, when they are pissing you off, you can either react and risk making it worse, or you can hear them out and not take it personally and then just move on with that information. Of course, as long as it's not harming you, certain things don't require us to always have a reaction. And having that really affirmed and saved me. It's just not taking things personally. But ultimately, these are just a few simple, practical ways that we can plan for 2024. A lot of it comes down to your emotions, your mental state of mind, how you're navigating that on a daily basis, how you're getting your repetition in, how you're building your endurance to face your fears, to face conflict, to build up your confidence, that to translate into courage to take that action. So let's talk about 2024. What are you doing today to assure, to embody who you plan to be in the future? Wins, fails, all of it. All parts of your life. What do you got going on? What are you doing? And how can I help? I'm here to help. Consider me a resource. Consider me your coach. Let's get to the nitty-gritty and get these things going. Let's get the ball rolling today if it hasn't already been rolling. And have some fun. Have fun. That's how I'm going to close that out. Have fun throughout this whole journey. I know it could be scary. It could be intimidating. It could be very overwhelming. But again, I'm here to support you. And if you got anything from this podcast, I'd love to know. Leave a 5-star rating. That helps to get the word out, to expand the brand. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm so grateful. Again, coming back to gratitude, I'm so grateful to have this platform to speak to you all, to document my life, to document my journey, and to be able to take everything I've learned and just give it to you all. It's pointless to have all this information and to hoard it. I'm giving you the keys. There are no gatekeepers here. And I mean that. I truly, truly do mean that. And keep me accountable. If you notice, we can work together as a collective. How can we keep each other accountable? Of course, my life is not your responsibility and your life is not my responsibility. But as a support system, it's okay to just check in with people. If you notice maybe I'm not posting as often as I normally do, or I notice you're not posting as often as you normally do, or perhaps you have a change of heart, but you're scared to disappoint other people. It's not about them. It's about you. But that's all I have for today. I thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Transaction Care Podcast. If you want to get in touch with me, go to transactioncarepodcast.com, join my email list. If you would like to work with me, either as a coach, consultations, mentorship, send me an email, tc@transactioncare.com. That simple. All the information will be in the description of this episode. I want to make it as easy as possible for you to not just access me, but allow me to share the knowledge I have with you to get you on the right foot. Do you want to start a transaction coordinator business? Do you want to level up your business? Or maybe you're at a point in your life where you want to transition out of TCing, out of real estate into something completely different. You just don't know how to. Whatever level or phase you're at in your life or stage in your life you're at, again, I'm here to support you. Reach out. Let's get on the calendar, set up a one-on-one so you can get on this journey quicker, so you could be living in your prayers. Let's do this. You got this. And I would love to hear what your goals, your plans are for the future in 2024. How are you going to close out 2023? Let's make it a big one. Let's make it fun. Let's make it enjoyable. And again, I'm so grateful that you all tune in each and every week. And if you've reached the end of this episode and would like a t-shirt, DM me on Instagram. Make sure you're following me. Show me that you're following me. Send me a DM that says t-shirt. And of course, I'm going to need somewhere to mail it. But DM me t-shirt if you want a t-shirt, simply for getting this far in the episode. I appreciate you. Make sure you join my email list so you know exactly when new episodes are released. Go back and stream previous episodes. There's so many keys, so many gems, so much game that people that I've interviewed are spinning, and information I'm sharing and indulging for you all to have for free. But ultimately, I am so grateful, and I thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Transaction Care Podcast. My name is Lillian Hernandez, aka Lily Like the Flower. We are learning and growing together. I'm giving you the keys. There are no gatekeepers here. Care for yourself, care for your wealth. Your time is worth it. Let's coordinate. Talk soon.